All right. Cool. Thanks everybody for coming. So this is the inaugural 0 Days meetup presented by CMD Solutions or hosted, but obviously a community meetup. Not going to spend long, just going to give a bit of a background on who is CMD, who is Mantel Group, and then what's the agenda for tonight. Who are you? I'm Adam Durbin, CTO of CMD Solutions. I'm one of the founders, been around for about 4 years, Amazon APN ambassador, so still reasonably technical. I write a lot of statements of work. That's classed as technical work. I do have a good security background as well, so done a lot with RAP compliance, PCI compliance. You talk about most of the financial companies in Australia. I've probably worked for 60% of them in some capacity, so lots of experience in the security space as well. Mantel Group is a house of brand structure. CMD underneath that's one of the DevSecOps, AWS focused consulting company. When I say DevSecOps, we really do specialize on the sec as well. A lot of our work is regulated industry for a reason. We specialize in that space, trying to make security a first-class citizen. So really happy to be sponsoring a security-focused meetup because it's not just something you do at the end of a project to make sure things are ready to go live. Should be the first-class citizen at the beginning, during design, during planning, that you're designing for security, you're not implementing after. You're welcome. The other brands within Mantel, so there's Digi.io, API, mobile web development shop, Eliza, AI, ML, and Casno, a Google GCP focused brand. So much like we're Amazon focused, they're Google focused alike. Based out of Sydney and Melbourne, there's 230 people across the group, probably growing by 5 per day nearly. One of the fastest growing IT consulting companies in Australia, I'd say today. I'm not going to do that one. The agenda for tonight, so David Luchi, one of our security consultants, is going to be giving a talk on you need to learn cybersecurity, here's how and why. Then Matt Dunham from FireEye is going to be doing a talk on attacks demystified, followed by a panel conversation with very little preparation, I hear, between James Bonswell, one of our principal consultants, and Edward Farrell. So I think it'll end up more of a Q&A because there hasn't been much prep at all, if any. In the mix of that as well, we'll probably break for some food and drinks in the meantime. Feel free to grab a beer, grab some food, and do a bit of a session on open jobs. Mantel, we're hiring heavily. The handsome man at the back with the glasses with the Run CMD shirt on, talking to, if you're interested in any roles in Mantel Group specifically. Yep, that one with the suit. Yeah, so please feel free to reach out. I'll hand over to David.
So before I start, thank you everyone for coming. A few more tips. If an emergency happens, there's some emergency exits here and behind the lifts. Toilets is also close to the lifts, so if you need anything. And drink responsibly. So don't go crazy, but there's plenty of beer and other drinks. So let's go. Before I start, how many of you work with cybersecurity or are in the security industry? Like, oh, most of it, no? Half, okay, cool. So this is really introductory stuff. So for people more that's not on security side, this is my plan here is try to convince everyone to join the security side of the force. There's plenty of work and it's really interesting. So that's my plan. So who am I? I have a degree in cybersecurity. This is a Brazilian uni, so I'm from Brazil. I have 4 years of experience working just of cybersecurity, like 10 years on IT overall. I was working in Brazil for mostly all of the big banks, insurance, healthcare, and all the big companies with a lot of money. Really interesting. I have interest in machine learning, AI, crypto, and blockchain. I don't know anything about it. I just like it. But my plan is learn more about this in the future. Back in Brazil, I was a blogger and a speaker. Still getting to it here in Australia. Like the language is a barrier, but I'm trying to solve that. Another barrier, I was an international student here in Sydney. I just got sponsored by CMD and Mantel Group. So right now I'm temporary resident. So, and in the close future, I'll be like permanent residence. And also a black belt, an archer, and regular nerd. If you guys want to talk about Star Wars, comics, and whatever, just come to me. So what security guys usually do? If you ask for most people will say just hack stuff, like break stuff. It's more than that, but mostly we can break stuff. Nowadays there is like 52 different roles in cybersecurity, so there's all kind of work. So probably you will find some field, some area that is specific to you and you can enjoy. Here are some examples. There's code auditing. If you are like a dev and you want to like switch to security, you can do some code audits. Basically review code, best practices, this kind of stuff. There's also policy and report, the boring stuff, some people might say. Basically, when you join a company, there's like the policies of how you use the devices, how your password should be, this kind of stuff. Security guys usually do this kind of things, and also report. For example, if a company needs deal with risk, deal with threat, how they deal with that. Probably security guys are writing reports about that. There's also research. The guys that find the flaws and vulnerabilities, like really crazy stuff, like hacking cars, hacking IoT, this kind of stuff. The things that it's all on the news, so probably researchers are doing this kind of stuff. Blue team, it's more the defensive side of the company, like you are doing basically protecting systems, deploying all kind of technologies to make the company secure. And in the other side, there's red teaming or penetration tester. It's guys that basically are hired to hack companies. We have a friend here that can tell more about that on the panel. There's also incident response. It's inside of the blue teaming. It's basically the first line of defense. The guys they have a lot of screens and a lot of dashboards, and they will do the triage and investigation when something happened. If you're really good, you could work for espionage, cyber surveillance, or cyber war for government, creating APTs, attacking another country, cyber war, this kind of stuff. Kind of conspiracy theories. It's really interesting if you are really good, you're keen to do this kind of stuff. And there's many more. Like I said, there's 52 different roles. So there's one role for everyone. Here's some examples. This one on the left is how a security operations center or a response incident team, how they usually work. It's like a wall filled with dashboards and all the nasty stuff. And there's a lot of screens. Basically, they are just looking for incidents, or they have some tools running, and they can get insights from this and work basically investigating when a breach happens to their companies or third-party companies. And in the other side, you have an assembly code. This is what researchers usually work with. This is the low-level coding. It's really complex. I barely understand what is happening there. But if you want like break or crack some software or reverse engineering or understand how a malware really works, you look under the hood. You're basically looking for the assembly language, how you can like break stuff running. So why should you care about security? Nowadays, security is not for just security guys. Everyone should know about it. If you know about security, it will make our job easier. Like if you're not doing dumb stuff like using easy to guess passwords or clicking on things that you should not click, open email attachments, this kind of stuff. Just be careful with that. And I'll show an example after. How can a simple SMS message could compromise the whole company? So every day, a new breach, a new attack, a new high-profile target. If you go to the news, you see like every day you put like hacking or whatever, or breach or data leak. You see every day there's a different attack happening. Something got breached. We got recently the Capital One banking was really big. So there's a lot of things happening. For us on security, this happens every day. For some of you, that could be new. So just go to the news and have a look at it. Cybersecurity industry is changing, and the gap is increasing. There's a lot of demand and not that much professionals working on it. So we really need some help. So other fields, other areas need to know about security a little bit just to help and make our job easier. More than ever before, we need a strong security strategy and awareness. For example, the email attachment. If someone send an email with a malicious attachment, I would say at least 75% of people that are not from security will click it, and some of are in security I will click it as well. So yeah, that happened. I worked in the past for one company, and they were like, everyone was for security background. We created a fake email with asking for some credentials, and 95% of the people click it, and everyone had a background on security. So if this happened with security professionals, with all the other areas, that could also happen. So there's a lot of things you need to do on security strategy and create awareness to the other areas. Another interesting point, 2 out of 5 of the top global risks from the World Economic Forum of this year were related with security. More specifically, data fraud or theft and cyber attack. The other 3 were global warming and environmental problems like hurricanes and earthquakes and this kind of stuff. And if you work on security or you're keen to join, you have a job guaranteed for life. There's a lot of positions, and there's not much people working on this. Another interesting facts, attack surface grows each day. In the past, we only have computers. Now everything is computer and is connected to the internet. So you have thermostats, you have smart fridges, you have smart kettles. Everything is smart nowadays. And everything could be hacked. And from that, you can escalate and get to different things and even hack some serious hacks in some companies. There's also cloud. So CMD is 100% AWS company. So cloud solves some of the problems, create the new ones, like, again, the Capital One. It's specific from cloud. And they cover some of the problems. For example, they have the shared responsibility. So you need to trust them. They are doing the right thing in some specific points. And you need to do the right thing on the others. So basically, you are trusting them half of your workload. One interesting fact, Australia is the leader in the world in the public cloud adoption. 1/3 of all the companies in Australia is on AWS or GCP or Azure. Why all this is happening and will continue happening? Because cybercrime is really profitable right now. For example, one complete record of one person, for example, name, address, email, phone, and some other information, you can get for almost 150 in the dark markets. If you have health information, they will increase even more. And this is growing, like almost 5% each year. So it's a lot of money. Same with ransomware. Some ransomware campaigns, they can get 1 million each day. So it's a lot of money. And this is just the beginning. This will increase in the next years and decades. And with IoT, who knows? There's a lot of things we need to take care. More things. So okay, you are convinced you want to work on security. On Australia, from now to 2026, that's the CEDA report from this year. They said there will be 18,000 cybersecurity positions. So, and they can only have 500 graduated each year in Australia. So that's a position for everyone. And a global number, in 2021, there will be 3.5 million of security roles. So if you want to go like around the world, you have a guaranteed job, wherever you go. Job posting for cybersecurity right now has grown 3 times faster than any other IT field, and 12 times more than any other field, any other area. So a lot of people are looking for IT or security, and it's really hard to find. And salaries, this is on Australia, on Australian dollar. You can go from 100,000 to 300,000 per year, just for analyst, engineer, consultant, and these kind of positions. If you go to like a managing position, like manager, cybersecurity, chief of cybersecurity or whatever, you can get even more than that. So it's really interesting. You can have a look. Just go to SIG or whatever and have a look. So this is how a basic attack works. Most of the, I would say like 75-80% of all the attacks happen similar to this one, and a lot of people fall for it. So it's easy. If you go to YouTube, you can learn how to do this in like half an hour. So it's not that hard, and a lot of people fall for it. So even technical person. Basically, you receive an SMS, WhatsApp Messenger, Facebook Messenger, or email, whatever, and there's some link, and you go to that link, and you are redirected to a web page. And in this web page, they probably will ask for credit card number. They will ask for. They will say that they are the bank, they are the post office, they are the police or whatever, and they will ask for credit card information. And they also can try to install something in your machine. And if they can install something in your machine, like in a mobile phone or whatever, your phone is compromised. And this also happened with iOS. So iPhone guys, you are also screwed. There's no way to run from this. This will happen with Windows and Android and iOS. Yes.
Once you click on a link and then it's installed after that? Or?
Yeah, could install automatically just to click on the link. And there's some flaws. For example, in the WhatsApp one that was really recent, you don't need even to click. If you receive the message, that's enough. Yeah, just to receiving the message. Yeah. So, but this was a more complex attack. But usually you have to click on it. You click on it, it will run some script and install automatically. This was discovered for the first time, I guess, on NSA tools. They have some surveillance tools that was leaked in the internet, and it's like public. Anyone can grab it and run it and do some testing. So okay, your mobile phone is compromised, but most people will say, I don't have anything to hide. Like I showed you before, your personal information worth a lot in the internet. So this is more than enough. But from that, they can continue attacking, continue evolving. For example, they can send the same message you receive to all your contacts. So you receive this message. They could be from one of your friends, and if you click it, you probably will send to all your friends as well. So besides that, you can also look for your network. Your phone is connected to wireless, probably, on your office or at home. And these malwares can have some tools to scan your network and see what's happening. And there's a lot of exploits and malwares and remote codes that could trigger and infect another devices. So when this malware will look for specific signatures for systems like Windows. I don't know about Windows. I'll use Mac. Maybe XP is too old, right? Maybe Windows 7. So it will look for Windows 7 in a specific version that they know it's vulnerable for some attacks. They will download this attack from this piece of code that will trigger this breach, this vulnerability, and they can like hack your home network and your office network in your business company or whatever. And from there, they can grab all the information from your company or from your home, like other people in your home, your entire family and your entire company. So from there, they can do whatever they want. They own your phone, and they own your at least one computer in your network. From there, they can continue scanning and connecting to different systems, or grab different information, and who knows, whatever is possible, everything's possible. So this is how a basic attack works. This is one of the most basic ones. Like, besides that, you can configure something wrong. For example, you put the wrong permissions on AWS S3, and it's open to the public, and no need like a special code or whatever. It's public. I saw that happening a lot, like people putting misconfiguration on databases, S3 buckets, and other connected devices. I saw once one guy, just for testing purposes, he spin up an EC2 instance on AWS with SSH open, and in less than 5 minutes was encrypted with ransomware. So he like spin up the instance, went to grab a coffee. When he was back, it was encrypted. So yeah, that happens a lot. Here's some interesting cases that happened in the past, just to give you a rough idea what is happening right now. First one, death by hacking is no longer a far-fetched idea. This was from like 2 years ago. Like a ransomware got infect some computers in a hospital, and the whole intensive care was connected to the internet. So they found a way to hack these devices, and some patients on these devices, like the hard machine wasn't working anymore, and the guy died. That happens at least 2 times already. Another one. This is really funny. Hackers are holding the city of Atlanta hostage. If you go to the Google right now and put attackers are holding this city, Google will autocomplete with like a dozen different cities. It happens a lot. Like there's at least a dozen cities that this happen in US and outside. So someone inside a government agency clicked on some link and encrypted everything and got access to, for example, power grid or sewage system, and encrypted the whole thing. So the whole city stopped. A few more. Hackers remotely kill a Jeep Cherokee on the highway. That was really interesting. Basically, cars right now are connected to the internet, and they are transmitting information for, I don't know exactly for what. But basically, they are sending a lot of information, and you can tap into and send some commands from outside. And from that, these guys could take control of the car, take control of the brakes, airbags, entertainment system, everything. So in this case, they just changed turned the wheel, and the car went to some tree or whatever. There was after this specific car, they patched it, and like 20 more cars happened with the same flaw, and it's still happening. I saw this live in Brazil a few years ago with a BMW, and it's really interesting. Like the guy was sitting down with a laptop, and the car just parked in the side. They were just, I'll sound the horn, and one payload he sent to the car, and this everything outside the car. He wasn't physically inside the car network. It was just 4G. So yeah, be careful. If you have a modern car, be careful. This is also very interesting. This is really old. It's like almost 10 years old. Inside story of how hackers destroy Matt Hornum's digital life. If you Google for this article, it's very interesting. It's really long. Basically, what the guys did, this guy posted something around Anonymous back when Anonymous was a big thing, and some guy didn't like it and called Amazon, not AWS, Amazon, site when you go when you want to shopping, and they impersonate him, said, "Oh, I forgot my password and whatever," and someone in Amazon reset his password, and he grabbed some information, some credit card information, go to his email, and from there he went to iCloud and basically remote wipe all his devices and a few other things. So it's really interesting. If you guys want to have a look, it's a really interesting story. So okay, you already convinced. You want to work on cybersecurity, but how? Basically, just go to all these resources, learn everything on there, and you are good to go. See, it's easy. Just need to learn everything on there. So in this like diagram, there's some certifications, some courses, some blogs, news articles, news bulletins, some challenges if you want to test your skills without going to jail. That's really important. And a lot of guidelines on general information. There's some really high technical and some like basic level. So just need to master all these. If you want to have the list, just scan the QR code. I promise you that there's no malware in the QR code. It's just the link. Yeah, trust me. Trust me, I'm the security guy. It's just a list of the resources that I just show you. Or if you guys can't read it or have some problems, just there's my email after. Just send me an email, I'll send you the links. Yeah, just be careful with attachments. So I still have some minutes. If you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free. If not, there's my email, LinkedIn. What? Oh yeah. After each talk, we have some breaks for pizza, bathroom, and drinks. And another interesting tip, if you guys want to make, we have some time for networking after. So if you guys could help it out, like if you go to LinkedIn, there's an option you can have some suggestions for people that are nearby. You can enable that. I know, like privacy and stuff, and we are a security meetup. But if you want to make your life easier, just turn it on, and after you turn it off when you leave the building. So that's it.